Hello there, my friends. Don't we just love discovered checks? This little study here has a solution where we move the knight somewhere to get a discovered check, and from there we find a winning variation. So I can tell you right away, there's no point in doing some meaningless move without moving the knight and just letting black king escape to c7. No, we have to start with a discovered check. The question is, of course, where and how to proceed to win. So the pawns are going in this direction. All right, so pause the video now and see if you can find the solution to this on your own on how white wins. Go ahead. And welcome back. Okay, let's start with some pointless moves. This is no use to put the knight on b6. The king comes to c7, attacks here, and we're really out of options straight away. Same goes for knight to e5. Doesn't really give anything for us. Maybe we can get the rook in here, but the king can escape down or up, doesn't really matter, and we are not winning this. This rook will escape sooner or later. Okay, so now look at the some interesting moves. Knight f6 with a discovered check looks interesting. It protects this square here, so black is forced to go up. And if it goes to c7, it's not forced to go up, it's forced to go on the left, I would say. If it goes there, well, then we have a check, and we win the rook. So it's not possible. So black is forced to go to c8. But really, we cannot find anything after this. So this is not the correct variation. Yes, we can give a check here on c1, and if black does the horrible mistake of going to b8, well, then we have a checkmate in two moves for sure. This looks very nice, but it doesn't have to go to b8 after the check here. It will simply go back, and now our knight is hanging, and we cannot give a check with this one. We cannot do anything. We just have to go back and like force a perpetual check and a draw here. So that's not good enough for us. Okay, what about knight c5? It has some options. If black goes to e8 here, he will lose. I'm not going to show you how, because that's part of the solution later on. Because black can play the king to c8 and then really get away. Even if we put our knight here on e6, we threaten the rook, and we're also threatening checkmate. But black will simply play his rook to g8 and protect everything, and then the rook is out. So we don't have anything after this. All right, now for the correct move. The knight has to go to f8. This is the correct key move. It's a really beautiful discovered check. Let's see what happens first. If it goes to c7, well, then of course we follow up with a check here, and that's a fork, winning the rook. And if he goes to c8, well, what do we have then? Then we have this check. Now remember what happens if it goes to b8. That's a checkmate in two, like this. But in this position, black doesn't have the option to go back to d8 either, because the knight from f8 is far better than it would be from f6. So here we just get this this fork again, and then we win the rook. So even let's just look at this. Even if it catches our knight here, this is easy win for us. We can do something like this, just allowing him to take, check, we get the next pawn, and this is winning, of course. So, okay, now let's look at what happens. Let's go back all the way here. We start with a check, king comes to e8, and now. This is not that easy to find, but if you want to pause the video again and analyze further, go ahead. Okay, so of course this is under attack, and we put it where it should be on e6, attacking the rook. And again, if black comes up here and the exchange, is not going to win this. He's not going to save a draw because we're going to pick all these pawns and then we're going to win. So he has to move the rook. Okay, if he moves to f7, well, that's a bad idea. We get a checkmate right away. If he moves to h7, we have the same check, followed by knight g5 check. And this is also winning the rook. So only square left is for black to put his rook on g8. And now, if you find the correct answer here, you have a checkmate in 4 moves. Pause the video again if you haven't seen it yet. Okay, here we go. The only winning move, which is checkmate in 4 moves, is knight c7 check. King is forced to either f8 or f7. It doesn't matter where he goes. Let's give him the chance to go up here. And we follow up with a check on f1. See, both these squares are covered by this fantastic knight. So it's a forced move. And it would have been also if it was on f8. It's a forced move up to g7. And now checkmate in 2 moves. We get our knight back to the perfect square here on e6 with a check. The king can come to 3 squares, and either one is followed up by rook h1 and checkmate. So that is a fantastic little study here of Leonid Kubbel, and I think it's really, really pretty. Forced checkmate from the beginning, or not forced checkmate, forced mate, or losing the rook, which would also lead to a victory, of course. So that's how you solve this little puzzle. You start with knight f8, and then you continue to win a few moves later. All right, thank you everybody for watching this. I hope you have a great day. See you later. Bye bye.